Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. People who are watching, if you want to make a difference in the life of a kid in Burkina Faso, in little villages, in little places out of town, to give opportunity to this child to go to school, this is the organization Invite Joy, who are helping the kids to go to school. Okay, and you can be a sponsor of a child. I started a few months ago, and I started to sponsor a little girl who is now going to school. It was my choice. You have girls, you have boys, but I picked a girl because for me, girls have less chance than boys to go to school in little villages like that. So if you're interested, I put the website on, and you can be a sponsor of one child or two if you want, and you will see what they ask. They don't ask that much money, but $20, something like that, to help a child, to sponsor a child to go to school. Okay. I have a question for you young people. I talk with some people now today and young Africans today. The question I have for you is, why don't you want to go to your village? Why don't you spend time in your village? What is one to go to the village? Because it's a good thing to go to the village. There is nothing wrong when you go to, actually you learn from living, how people live. If your grandparents are still, my grandparents are none of them are alive anymore, but it was a good time to go to the village, see my grandparents. I'm still going even today. Even when I go to the village, I went with my mom last year when she came, but later on I went to my village in 2023 again. Before I left, I go to my village just to spend time. It doesn't have to be the perfect place. I mean, it's perfect for you because it's what attach you in a way with your land, with your root in a way. So I wonder why many young people don't think and don't feel about. I mean, there's nothing wrong. I know that some people don't like to go there because they're afraid of witchcraft and stuff like that. We don't ask you to go to everybody, but at least spend time to know your culture in a way. I don't know completely my culture, but I'm not lost. When I went to the museum of the culture of my country, I remember so many things because when I was young, I saw some women in the village doing some stuff and that we don't see anymore. For instance, the way the kitchen were built before, inside and outside, we don't see it anymore often. It's important to go to the village. Me, I spend good time in my village. I go there, I go to the river, there is fish in the river. I mean, okay, be careful with the snakes, okay? This is the worst, situation that can come. But usually when you clean everything, when they feel human presence, unless they have been there for a while, they're eating stuff from other animal coming, like the rodents and everything. Yeah, it can be dangerous because python are extremely dangerous even for for toddler. Yeah, so you have to be very careful. Bring everything that is very that can protect you, and repellent and mosquito repellent. But I love my time in the village. I'm telling you, I had the best time when I was young, especially by night. You will see the life is so simple. I remember when I was sitting in the compound of my village when people were walking from the farm, because usually people were going in the morning, early in the morning. They were going to hunt or going to plantation, to do the farm, planting. Doing plantation. And I've learned to do plantation with my parents because my parents were doing a lot of plantation at the time. They were working there with people that they hired, of course. And I was learning so much, you know. I learned how to, in Central Africa, it's not like in West Africa when it comes to take the water. Even villages are different. In Central Africa, it's different than the Central Africa. And I've been to the two of them because I visit a place in West Africa, and it looks different. In Central Africa, it's kind of different also, so you cannot compare, it's not really the same. But I've learned how to take water. In West Africa, they have a system, you know, when the place where you take the water, the bucket of water, is different. And for us, we were using a type of branch. Yeah. Sometimes I was losing buckets in the water there, in the water. But it was the best time ever. Going to the village was the best time ever. You are cut from the noise of the city. You are in another world. And that world is so relaxing. And I don't know why many young people are not interested to go to the village anymore. Everybody want to stay in town and look the TV and everything. It's not bad. But your village is good because you are... how can I say that? It's another life. It's a very simple life, and yeah, and I love the village life. Also, it's not easy, but it's good for a period of time. I learned how to plant. I learned how to cook. Sometimes I was helping to cook, and it's the best time. My parents were raising also farms. They have farming activities, but also pigs. We had pigs on the other side of the compound. We had it, and I learned how to feed them and everything. You know, farming activities it's not easy. It's a lot of resilience, a lot of discipline as well. I think everything is about discipline. You like it, you don't want it, it's a fact, okay? But I encourage many young people to spend time to the village. It's good to spend time in the village. You go, you swim in the river, we have the mangrove and the palétuvier. It can be scary if you're not used to, but I am from Central Africa, so I'm not scared of it can be scary if something happens. Yeah, it can be scary if an animal can come through, but when you get used to, you go. I start going on my own to the river because it's my compound, but it's like it's like a very, a little bit retired from the main place, you know. So when you go inside, it's impressive. The thing you see, this kind of bird that stay in the mangrove, and you know they like to go through the mangrove. You can think it can happen, but when you are used to, you're not scared. Okay, you enter in the water, the river, you look around, you are careful, and then you can. I don't swim. Okay, there is something about me. I couldn't swim. I had a situation when I went with friends at a swimming pool, and that really traumatized me. I never had a chance to swim. It's unfortunate I don't swim. But when I go to the river, I stay in the water. I walk inside the water. The water is very salty. You don't drink it, but it's good for your skin. It's good also for your health in a way. And my grandfather was a good swimmer. He was excellent swimmer because he was a fisherman. So he was a good swimmer, my grandfather, on my father's side. And my grandfather on my mother's side was a hunter, but he was an educator. So people back in the days, they weren't begging for help. They were doing everything on their own. They were feeding their families on their own. So a man had to be brave and courageous to go search for food for the family. But since my grandfather on my mother's side was educated, he was a hunter, but he was also working for the city, the small city responsibility, you know. When I go back home when I go back home, I'm not looking to go to a hotel and stuff. I'm not impressed by that when I go back home. It's not really. Yeah, I can have fun going to restaurant and such, but the best moment for me is to go to my village when I go back home, and I hope I'll be able to go next year, because when you go to your village, you have more time. You spend good time. It's calm, and it's refreshing, and it is uplifting to stay. You know, you don't need. I don't. You know, when I go back home, I'm not looking to impress or to do stuff like, yeah, I can go to restaurant and such things, but it's not my priority. My priority in my heart is my village first. So I plan a trip already. When I come in my hometown, I plan a trip to go to my village. That's what I do. I like my village. I have no shame on my village, and I think many young African, we should really think about going to our village often during our summer. So how many of you, when they go back home and go to their village, let me know in your comment what you like to do in your village, what's your best thing you do in your village. Okay, thank you.